welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis and today I want to show you how I've cleaned and reorganised my pantry and kitchen cupboards. Today I'm going to be reorganising and cleaning my kitchen. This is a job I've been meaning to do since before lockdown, but I just never got round to it in lockdown. With my son at home, my son is now 7 but he was 6 at the time, it was quite a busy time with him at home, so I couldn't really do any major cleaning. So my kitchen got a bit neglected and it is very grotty at the moment. It needs a really good clean, and there's a cupboard in this corner that I'm planning to reorganise to make it a bit easier to get things in and out of as well, but I'll show you that in the video. So for now, here is how I've reorganised and cleaned my kitchen. To start the process, I removed all of the items from the island in the middle of our kitchen, and then I gave it a quick wipe down, and I did this so I would have a clear space to work with when it came to emptying the cupboards and cleaning the shelves inside the cupboards. Once I'd done this, I then moved on to cleaning my pantry. So I took each jar from the pantry and I gave it a quick spray with my method cleaner, and I wiped it down, and then I left these to dry, and then once I'd taken everything off of this shelf, I then gave the shelf a wipe. And I did this shelf by shelf, and I actually found this really easy and really effective as well, and it meant I didn't sort of get lost in what went on which shelf as well, which is great because then when it comes to cooking again I can find the items. I do try to put these glass jars into a logical order so that I can find them when I need to. If I'm cooking something and I need something quickly, then I know where it is. It doesn't always work, and I do stand at that cupboard sometimes and look blank, I'm sure I do, but most of the time I know where everything is in this cupboard and I can find it easily, so that's why I like to put everything into glass jars. So yeah, I took each shelf and I cleaned it shelf by shelf. Last week I cleaned the bottom half of this pantry, so that's looking really clean and tidy now, and I will link the video for that in the description box below. And I just carried on cleaning this cupboard. On the next shelf I have lots of herbs and spices, as you can see. I keep them in boxes. I find this the easiest way to store my herbs and spices. I try to do this in an order, so I try to have spares in one box. Anything that's spare and we don't tend to use a lot of, I try to keep in the green box at the end, and then the next box along I try to keep all of my herbs, and then in the other 3 boxes I keep all the spices that we like to use, and I do use all of these spices as well. So here I'm taking each box off and I'm giving it a clean. I actually ran these under the tap in the kitchen, and then I wiped them down with the method spray, and I then got a piece of kitchen towel and I just wiped off the excess water on them, and then I tried to put everything back into a logical order, as you can see here. So I tried to put all the spices into the 3. I know there is a lot of spices here, but I do actually use these. And then I tried to put all the herbs into one container. And then, as I said, I put anything spare into the last container, or anything that's a bit big and bulky and won't fit in the other 4 containers, I put into this one. And these containers I actually bought from IKEA. They are actually for screws in the garage, like screws and bolts and things, but I thought they looked really handy for herbs and spices, and I really like them. I've had them for years. If I can find them on the IKEA website, I will link them in the description box below for you. But yeah, I'm just finishing off cleaning the inside of the pantry now. So the last basket I have has things like has jars like honey and Marmite in there, and I have my almond butter as well, and raw cacao powder as well goes in there. Like, I've got a small packet of raw cacao chips that I've put in there. And here I'm just trying to give the bottom shelf a clean. The bottom shelf was quite grotty, and I did find a sticky patch of Marmite as well. I don't know how the Marmite made it there, but it did. So yes, and now I'm just finishing off cleaning the pantry, and once I've put everything back, I then moved on to cleaning the outside of the doors and the inside of the doors as well. So I just gave them a quick wipe down as well. Then I moved on to cleaning the kitchen cupboards. So I'm cleaning each cupboard individually. So I take out all of the items from one of the kitchen cupboards, and then I give each shelf a quick clean with my Method cleaner. I'm using Method today because it's an all natural cleaner and it's got no chemical nasties in it, and I just really like using it in my kitchen. This isn't an advert for them. As I said, I just really like using this cleaner in my kitchen. And then once I'd done that, I then put all of the items back into these cupboards. As you can see here, I don't tend to store food in these cupboards, and that's simply because when we first moved in, I did store food in here, but I found it quite awkward to find stuff. So I decided to store my bulkier items in here, and then we bought the pantry, which made it a lot easier to find items that I need. I tend to like to cook a lot, so I like to be able to find food very easily and very quickly. So yeah, these cupboards didn't really work as a pantry for me. They work much better to store bulkier items in. So this cupboard was cleaned last week. In my last video that I did, I reorganised the pantry and the kitchen cupboards, and this was one of the cupboards that I cleaned and reorganised. And that video I will link in the description box below. I'm sorry if I've said that already. But yes, I will link it down below for you. So please go check that out. I had a massive reorganisation of my pantry and of my kitchen cupboards as well. And this is where I'm now storing my Tupperware boxes. And if you watch that video, you'll know that I was a bit worried this wouldn't stay like it is. But actually, I think this is much easier to find the Tupperware boxes when I need them now. Though this last cupboard, I do have a small confession to make. As you can see, I'm pulling out olive oil, and in a moment I'll be pulling out alcohol as well. There is nowhere else to store these bulky items, so I've had to put them in this cupboard, but that is the only cupboard that has food in it. And actually, the olive oil in here we do tend to buy in bulk, so the bottle at the front is the one being used anyway, and these apple cider vinegar we buy in bulk as well, so the one at the front is always being used. And then the alcohol we don't tend to drink at all. We've got, when I was cleaning this cupboard out, we had Sambuca in here and things. I really don't understand where the Sambuca has come from. I think it was my husband's at one point, but anyway, yes, so I just store all of the things that we don't really use a lot in this cupboard as well. And then I gave the top of my hood in my kitchen a quick clean, but I realised I hadn't actually cleaned the baking tray drawer at the bottom of my oven. So this is where I store my baking tray, so I gave it a quick hoover because there are a lot of crumbs that had fallen from the oven into this drawer. So yeah, I gave it a quick hoover, then I gave it a quick wipe and a spray with my Method cleaner, and then I put everything back. Then I moved on to cleaning the utensils drawer. As you can see here, I have a piece of rubber that I tend to keep in this drawer underneath all of the utensils, and I like to keep this in here because it helps to keep the utensils still when I open the drawer. So I can't remember what that's called, but if I can find it, I'll link it in the description box below. And basically I cut it to the size of the drawer, and then I put all the utensil on top of it, and everything stays in the drawer in a neat, tidy order, so I really like that. And then I just moved on to cleaning the pots and pans cupboard as well. These are drawers, so I did have to give them a hoover. Lots of crumbs and things tend to fall in these drawers from the hob, I think, and when we're cooking as well, things fall in here, so they did need a really good clean, to be honest with you. And I just put back everything in the same order as well. And then I moved on to the bottom drawer. The bottom drawer wasn't as bad as that middle drawer. Not as much tends to fall in here. I think it all falls in the middle one for some reason. And I did the same again. I just gave the drawer a quick clean and a hoover as well. Once that was done, I then put everything back again.
Don't walk away, there's more to say, I just need the courage.
And then I moved on to cleaning out the tea and coffee cupboard. This cupboard was very dirty, so I took everything out. I gave it a wipe down, but then I discovered some crumbs on the middle shelf, so I went to get my hoover and I just hoovered inside this cupboard. And once that was done, I then wiped it down, and I wiped down all of the shelves and the inside of the door as well. That was a bit grotty. So I just forgot to hit record, but I thought I'd share with you what I've done with the tea and coffee. So the tea and coffee were in these baskets. As you can see, they are a bit grotty, but now I've put them into these smaller baskets. So I've tried to group everything together again, but some things did have to overlap into other baskets. So we've got the sugar, and I've got a fennel tea there. I do have that occasionally, but not very often. So that can go up the top. And the sugar is for people who like sugar in their tea and coffee. We don't tend to have sugar in our tea and coffee. Hence the reason why the bag has not been opened. It will probably go off. I hope not before it... before it gets used, I'm sure. And then in this basket I have all the coffee, and then we have some tea from Switzerland, which is a lot weaker than British tea, I have to say, and we haven't drunk it, but I'm keeping it there because it doesn't really go off. And then in these two baskets, which is the shelf below that one, is the tea. So as you can see, I love my herbal teas. Howard has a small corner here for his decaffeinated, and the rest is the herbal teas. We both drink this, however, I'd just like to say. So yes, that is the tea and coffee baskets sorted. I then put everything back into the tea and coffee cupboard, and I then moved on to the cupboard where we store our plates and a few of our cups. As you can see here, I've pulled out a couple of baskets, and that's now where we store our medicines, so our vitamins and minerals that we take every morning. I decided to put those into baskets because it just made it easier to find them rather than floating about in the cupboard. They're so easy to find in the morning. I just pull that basket out and I have everything there that I need, and then I just take all of my pills and I'm done. So yeah, really like that basket. And then finally I moved on to cleaning the bottom cupboard where we store, again, bulky items. So my slow cooker goes in here because this is a cupboard where it would fit. And I have a bread making machine that we hardly ever use, but occasionally we do. It's very rare, but we do use it. So I'm still storing it in this cupboard, but maybe I'm thinking we should probably put it into the attic at some point because we haven't used it for a long time now. But yes, we still keep that in this cupboard because it's a bulky item and it's the only place it fits. So as you can see, it slides in quite nicely in that corner. So I did what I did with all the other cupboards, and I basically just took everything out, cleaned all the shelves, and then put everything back again. So that's my kitchen cleaned and reorganised, and I love it once I've done, and I wonder if you feel the same. Let me know in the comments below if you do. Next week I will be cleaning around the kitchen sink, so watch out for that on my channel. But for now, I thought I'd leave you with a few images of my lovely clean kitchen. cleaned and my cupboards reorganised, and that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.